Hello everybody, how are you? I hope you're fine. This is Gaming Mechanist, and today I'll be explaining wKFCZhemBRUOKLNSpgPmv. As we are advancing towards the Burning Crusade and official launch of the Burning Crusade Classic, TBC Classic, most of us are looking for add-ons. Training somewhere, getting used to old mechanics, behaviors, using some private servers to get used to the way it was before. And as we all know, the add-ons back then were just not really that sophisticated and complicated as they are now, and not really intuitional. So getting a good sort of add-ons to get through the game and help yourself is essential for some people. Some people don't use them at all. It's just a case of preferences. So today I'm going to be explaining the basics of wKFCZ. So wKFCZ is an add-on. It's a backport basically made by Shaka and by Machuga, and both of them are quite good, but I use Machuga's wKFCZ. For me they work much better and I did not get any problems. Right, so this is the way my UI would look without any wKFCZ. And right now, this is how they look right now with wKFCZ. As you see, I got few things and few improvements in my UI, and that's not gonna be appearing all the time. So first of all, I am using a bartender add-on, as I said previously, to have my buffs here, so I could have my UI minimalized as much as I can. I don't need to see, for an example, those bars or this bar. This is not essential for me. I have all the essential and crucial things in front of me, and as well as my stances. So let's start from the beginning. All right, so this is just a simple background for an example. When you are creating a background, you just pick up the texture you want from the texture bar and the color. And if you want a background, you have to set a strata. Strata is a thing that will be, for example, if I have a high, it will overlaps my bartender add-ons because it will have the maximum priority. But I want to have it as medium, because if I have another background, for an example, this one, no, not this one, this one. Okay, so my green background doesn't go beneath the black background, which is covering behind my normal bars, usual bars. If I have a strata, for example, low, this will come very green, very dark green, and if it will be inherited, I don't really know what's gonna happen, but it didn't work for me that much, so I'm staying with medium. Yeah, if it's gonna be a background, it's gonna be darkish, low is gonna be darkish, so you have to play. These are basically layers for add-ons that you want to see and how they're gonna behave. Right, so these are the basic textures. You pick them up from here, from choose. You don't really need to put any triggers into that. I just put a trigger that my health will be above 0. That's when it's gonna load and happen. And this is gonna be only for my warrior class, as I picked it up here. And it's just a solid thing. All right, so this wKFCZ is a wKFCZ for battle shout. Most of warriors, unfortunately, we don't really pay attention to stupid buffs that we have. Unfortunately, that's the case with me, so I don't pay really much attention to it, and I always skip that icon here when I'm doing something, because it's like just far away on my screen. I got to 32 inches monitor, so sometimes I'm not paying attention to corners. So I wanted something to be visible on the screen and not taking much of my attention, and will be just really easy to spot, as well as I'm gonna increase the sound volume, as well as the volume when it goes off, as you've heard. So I have a battle shout, but I'm gonna change this to, for an example, commanding shout right now, and I hear the sound that the commanding battle shout is gone. Same for commanding shout. This allows me to track my buffs very easily when it's a shitloads of situations and shitloads of mobs, for an example, in raids, and I'm focused more on the DPS than paying attention to my buffs. So when I hear the sound going off, I remember just to reapply it as well again. Right, so how to create it? So we need a trigger. We need one basically trigger, and it's gonna be an aura. We pick up battle shout, apply it to ourselves, of course, and this is all. Loading it whatever you want. Animations, we don't play with it. Actions as well, we don't really play with it. If you want the sound to remember yourself, remind yourself, check the sound, check the sound effects where you want the channel to be broadcasted from, and the display. All right, so the display, you pick up the texture. The texture is a simple square. You just adjust it the way you want it. So you have a square already. And if you want the same texture for the background, you pick up the same. If you want something else, you pick for an example, let's say other texture. We have shapes, yeah. Let's pick up a circle, and you have a circular thing behind you. These doesn't really work. Let's say we want a beam. Okay. Yeah, as you see, the beam changes. You can make it the way you want. It's all right. I pick it up that way. So we have the same texture behind as the background. You choose the background color here. Orientation bottom to the top. In my case, if we go right from right to left, this is how it's gonna be behave. You can extend the bar. Okay, let's say I want it to be wider. Yes, I have a width of 9, and this will be, for an example, 90 right now. So as you see, this is decreasing down, and if I change the orientation from left to right, this is how it's going to be behave. So back to my previous setup, which was 9, and orientation top to bottom, no, bottom to top here. And you have a good action bar made yourself from wKORAS to track your battle shout, for an example. You can do the same way with tracking down your rampage buff when you're Fury, or any other buff that you want to track, for an example, hamstring. Let's create an action and wKORAS for hamstring. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna change the display. I'm going to shapes. This is gonna be a square. This is how it's gonna be looking like, for an example. Right, and the trigger. I'm applying the trigger. This is gonna be an aura. It's gonna be a target aura as a debuff, and the aura will be named hamstring. I'll name it as hamstring here as well. And we have a hamstring aura. And whenever I'm going to apply a hamstring, that's going to go towards... Actually, I need to change this to progress texture. I'm sorry. Progress texture, of course. And right, once again. Shape, that way. Yeah. Trigger stays the same. As you know, as you see, it's from the bottom to top, but we want to change it from right to left, yeah, as it's gonna decrease. And let's say the color is fine for me, but I want to change the background or get rid of it, as you see behind. So the background will be blackish. Center is fine, crop is fine, alpha is fine. Let's leave it as it is right now. As you remember, let's say I left it here. Yep. As I said, Jetta will be high. This will be above your action bars. Inherited will be the same, low, whatever. Right, so we have a hamstring aura right here, which is a normal regular debuff. And this is the wKORA for hamstring. Nice and easy and simple. As you see, the hamstring is here. Let's wait till it goes down. Done. Unfortunately, this collides with some few other add-ons, and if there are few debuffs on the target made by someone else, the debuffs on action on the frames are going to be greenish. I don't know what's the reason. You know, it's a bug port for wKORAS, and not everything works as it should be. But now you see the regular issues and how to make things right. Okay. Let's say I'll delete this right now. I showed you the battle shout. I showed you the commanding shout. These are the why it's because it's a children group. These are the wKORAS for my low HP. Show up? No. Yeah. As I said, this is kinda wonky. Yeah. And not all of them works right now. As you see, I have enabled battle shouts, and I'm just gonna leave it like it is right now. Right. So, and this. Yeah. Wonky shit. Right. So these are the auras for my low HP. The trigger is status, health, player. My HP when it's 45. Those textures will show up. There's two. And when my HP is 30, additional textures will show up. You can pay attention to frames, that's fine. You can have additional auras, it's all good. You adjust presets, make them yourself by customs. I don't know how to make custom presets, so don't ask me. I just used the already built in, which are fade in, for an example. When they happen, the pulse, as you see, that aura will be orbiting. You know, you can make it the way you want, really. I'll decrease the sound. We don't need much of the sound anymore. Alright. And the rage bar. The rage bar is absolutely gorgeous. The only issue with rage bar is that I have no idea how to apply a centered digits numbers to the rage bar. So I use additional add-on. Okay, so as you see, my rage bar only appears when I have rage, when something happens. And this is keeping the UI minimalized as much as I can. Come on, get rid of it. Alright. Come on, one, yeah, gone. So, the rage bar, how to make it. First of all, we need the trigger. These are gonna be triggers for the rage bar. We need status. The status will be power. I'll be the player, you will be the unit, and the power type will be rage. You have to have the power above 0, so it will apply and work. And this is all from the trigger. And when we load, you pick up the class. Of course, warriors have rage, so we pick up the warrior rage. And actions are not here. Animations. Animations. I brought the animations from someone else, from YouTube, to make the bar change the colors. So you can. I'll give you the data and paste it in the comment section. I mean, in the when you scroll down and extend the informations below the video, I'll post it. So whenever the rage is exceeding some amount, it will change the color. And let's have a view. So I have no rage at the moment. I charge in. I get 34. Now the rage bar is green. I can dump the rage with Heroic Strike. Now I have shitloads of rage, I need to get rid of it. And that's all. I'll be posting links and entire strings for advanced things like a rage bar, for an example, in the section of informations. And you can change the color, you know, you can play with it. As you see, the basic color will change, but the colors will change a long way as much rage as you gain with the animation setup. You can leave it without any custom functions, and this is gonna be just the color. You picked it up already. The number in the rage bar is called is from the add-on I already explained, which is LULEC Warrior Hood, and these are the numbers above the rage bar. You need to again you need to play with strata, because if you have your rage bar on a display which will be high, no, it's not actually gonna do anything. That's strange. Yeah, so LULEC's digits are above everything basically, so we can leave it as it is. Yeah, so LULEC will allow you to have the numbers. Otherwise, if you don't want to download LULEC Warrior Hood, you can add rage numbers to rage bar with let me see, right text, yeah, right or left text. This is basically all. %P, which is standing for progress, and you need to pick up the timer. All right, so now you're gonna have the number. You can make the bar blank, for an example, and create a second rage bar. Move the right section to the center. I'm gonna make it right now, just for the purposes. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate the rage bar, and I'm gonna call it rage bar numbers. All right, so from the previous rage bars, I'm gonna deselect target, the timer, remove the text, push space, and say OK. So this is gonna be my new rage bar, and I want it to, I need the animations to change. I don't want it. Okay, done. All right, a trigger stays the same, and I need to change the display. I need to change the display to empty, and all right, numbers are here. No icon, bar alpha is actually, I can change the bar alpha, yeah, but my numbers will be gone, so I can change the bar color to 0. Depends if you have any libraries for the bar texture. If you don't have bar texture libraries, let's say this is gonna be bars, and the bar color will be like that. Yeah. Okay, let's play with it, yeah. So this we're gonna change to full opacity, the background color as well. We didn't want any background, and border style none. We don't want it. Oh, here's the border color. All right. Why it doesn't work? Border backdrop. Okay. All right. So we have the numbers right now, and we are changing the text. That doesn't want to go bigger. Oh, text settings. All right. Right. So we got. Jesus, guys, don't ask me. Yeah. Right. I may fuck up something. This is not really the way it should be working. And you know, it's a backported thing, so we have a text right now, and you can place it wherever you want. Just pick up the frame strata for high, so it will be always above. All right, and you get numbers. You don't need to look in that case. Right, I'm gonna delete it. Rage bar number, delete. And these are basic things for my for counting my cooldowns. Charge, yeah, I charged. I don't want to have it. I don't want to have it popping all the time if it's ready. So I made the trigger for the cooldown progress. If trigger status cooldown progress spell name charge, and animations, whatever you want. So it's gonna be only appearing when there's a cooldown. If the cooldown is gone, this is gonna disappear. If you want to have it, for an example, right. So I'm gonna show you this one. This is a spell reflection. Yeah, I switched to stances. I have a shield icon. I applied spell reflection, and this is the cooldown of the aura which is currently available. And after that, there is a cooldown for aura itself. Let's say I put a reflect. I reflected something, and this is the remaining cooldown. How to make it? We make a spell reflection aura from the display, which will be an icon, as you see. The trigger will be aura, of course, spell reflection, ourselves as the player, and a buff. Nothing here. The display doesn't really change. We have the icon for our for spell reflection, and if it's gonna be up, you're gonna see the cooldowns as well. The cooldown text is a %p. Play with the size, whatever you want. That's fine. But the tricky part is the CD. So we need for the cooldown. Yeah, as you see, the cooldown is with red numbers. So we need two triggers. First trigger will be a cooldown progress for the spell itself, as it has 10 seconds CD, so that's gonna track our cooldown progress. But the second trigger will apply it only when it's not present. So we have two triggers. First, we'll track the cooldown progress if the skill was used, and then it's gonna track the cooldown if the aura is not present. So we need to put the inverse as the action as activated when the given auras can't be found. If I uncheck it, this is gonna look like that. And you see, this is kind of dodgy, yeah? You don't really know what's going on, really. So it's gonna be tracking cooldown only when you have the buff on yourself, and this, making it inverse, will make it work properly. And you have two icons on yourself. You don't need to, you get two jobs done at once. So the reflection itself, to see how much you left, and the cooldown itself. So the icon is dynamic, quiet, doesn't take much of a space, minimalistic, and it's gone from the screen. You don't need to pay attention. Same shit, as I said, for charge and intercept. Right, I'm gonna DPS the dummy for a while, and you're gonna see it's gone. 2 seconds, gone, no screen taken, no space. Stances and auras are basically backgrounds, there's normal textures, and you have them instances. All right, so this is gonna be triggered by the status, stance, form, aura, defense stance, and as I'm a warrior, that's gonna be showing only the defense stance. If you're a druid or whatever, you put the stance, form, aura, whatever you want in the trigger. That's gonna load. Actually, I should check it to load only when I'm a warrior, and just a regular texture. Yeah, so whatever it was, I just picked it up. Power auras, medium texture. Okay, that was a square, I believe. I don't want to mess it up because I don't remember which one was it. But okay, let's do it for the lols. Yeah, I think that was that. All right, so we got a big one, small one. Don't remember which one was it. Yeah, I messed it up. All right, I pressed cancel, thankfully. All right, so these are the stances. As you see, whenever they're gonna be activated. For an example, battle stance activated by the battle stance from stances, form, auras, and the animations will just you know, bump with the flash or whatever. So whenever I'm switching stances, because the blizzard, as you see, the blizzard texture, that white texture around the inside the bar itself is kinda not really visible, and depends if you pay attention to the icon above your head. That's fine. For me, that's just more visible and easy to see. Right, so these are the basics of wKORAS. You can make advanced macros with it, advanced icons. You can make a PvE DPS group, for an example, like this one, and play with it the way you want it, and you know, add additional cooldowns to be tracked when you have it. Basically, it's all the same things. I have no knowledge how to make more advanced macros and wKORASes, because they just basically bug out with other add-ons and they don't go well together. There are many cases of it. And these, for an example, groups for Mortal Strike, yeah. This one, Mortal Strike, will be visible when the action is usable. This is just basically the visibility of a Mortal Strike, which is grayish when I'm alive. Doesn't really matter, it's just an icon. And this is the cooldown, which is grayish. And if I'll be okay, for this particular reason, I'm gonna uncheck it. Okay, I unchecked the condition for the entire group. You can make a group for PvE, for an example. You make a group right here, and then you attach with that button all your auras into the precise group you want to have it. So my PvE wKORAS will only be available when I have an improved slam talent taken, and they're only gonna appear in that condition. So right now I'm gonna be unchecking it, and as you see, this is a regular texture for those three buttons: Mortal Strike, Slam, and Whirlwind. And when I'm gonna charge, strange. Oh, yeah, I forgot I'm fucking Berserker stance in PvE. All right, and as you see, and there will be also a global cooldown to enable you to use the button and the ability when you have the global cooldown off. And how to track a global cooldown. All right, so we have the static and the trigger. Was it the trigger? No. Which one was it? I couldn't track the global cooldown, so I made an animation for fading in whenever that's available. Whenever I use the ability, Mortal Strike itself, that's gonna fade in. So that's gonna imitate the global cooldown itself. You know, that's a workaround. I think that's how I did it. Did I? No. This is the global cooldown. All right. So yeah. So for the Mortal Strike, action usable as a trigger one, whenever I can perform it, that's gonna check two triggers. One trigger if it's usable, if I have enough rage and I can do it, that's fine. Then it's gonna check the global cooldown status from whatever ability that is procced by that is affected by global cooldown. For my example, it's Find Minerals, and that's gonna be inversing. So you need two triggers to track it down. And rage, come on. Yeah, I need to start it somehow. Yeah. All right, get some more rage. Mortal Strike, not possible, now possible. As you see, the global cooldown is advancing. And I'm gonna make a hamstring right now, so you can see the global cooldown. Yeah, visible, possible. intuitional, easy, and nice to be adjusted. Alright, I'm gonna put it back to the loading phase for improved slump when I'm using a PV, and the wKORAs are gone. Nice and easy. Below the rage, you have a swing bar, which is made from quartz, but I already said it in previous videos. So this is all about wKORAs in my case for today. If you have any other questions, go ahead and ask. I'll be pleased to help you. Thank you and have a good day.